And we are live on another edition of All In on High School Sports. Jennifer Valenti, Kurt Valenti, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
How am I? I mean, calm right now.
Yeah,
After,
compared to
I want to ask you this for our audience, and I didn't get to do it on our high school show, but just what's like 3 words that you would say, first 3 words that come to your mind saying, watching a Nick playoff game with me?
For those of you, we usually go on Tuesday nights. We had to postpone till tonight because the Knicks are in the playoffs, and it's a big deal in the Valenti household.
Yes,
so,
it is.
I would say intense. I would say entertaining. And I don't know. I'm gonna have to get back to you on the third one.
We got to go live one night. Like there's people that do it. I mean, just how great would that be? But now what's nice is I'm calm tonight. I could be calm tomorrow, calm Friday, and then here we go. Here we go. Well, we're not talking NBA tonight on the show. We're talking a little high school sports. And what we got going on tonight,
Well,
Jen?
we have 2 guests joining us tonight, 2 programs, I should say. Our first guest is going to be Coach Julia Happe and 2 of her senior captains representing the Montville High School Girls Lacrosse team. And after we are done talking about Montville High School lacrosse, we'll be joined by Coach Wendy Morris of Pennington High School Field Hockey and Lacrosse, who's retiring after 14 years at Pennington, but 30 plus years in coaching. So we'll chat with her and celebrate her career a little bit this evening. So should I let our guests in and get us ready to go?
Absolutely.
All righty. Let me welcome them all officially here. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hi. Doing well.
Good. Thanks for joining us. Hi, girls. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Let me officially introduce you to our audience. And if I mispronounce your names, please correct me. I don't want to, I'm not afraid to be corrected. We are joined by Coach Julia. Julia, you know what, Julia? I have written in my notes here, Lilienthal, Happe. So if I flow into Lilienthal, forgive me.
No worries.
By Coach Julia Happe. She is in her 9th year as the Montville Township High School Girls Lacrosse Coach. This year, her team is off to a 7-2 start, including a 4-0 record at the top of the Freedom West Division, of the NJIGLL. I should know these things. I used to say them all the time.
Those letters.
She is joined by her 2 senior captains, Jenna Iervolino and Savannah Olsson. How did I do, guys, on the names?
Good.
Not bad. Not bad.
Well, welcome, guys. And congrats on getting off to such a good start.
First comment tonight from our good friend Kenny Kirkpatrick. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the greatest high school show on earth. So thank you, Mr. Kirkpatrick. And Coach, thank you. And girls, thank you so much for joining the show. Looking forward to a nice interview with you guys on the show. So I'll start with Coach. Like Jen said, 7-2. So can you give us a quick overview of the season so far and why off to the nice hot start?
It's funny because we have had a really strong start, but the girls will, testify to this. I still feel like we haven't reached our fullest potential yet, which is kind of funny. And also really encouraging because we have been pulling out wins against some really talented teams. And I think it's just a testament to the character of this team. These girls are workhorses. They, go into every game, the conditions aren't always perfect. We don't always make the best decisions at every moment, but they outwork other teams. And I think that is what has led to our success this season. We just have kids who want to succeed, who want to be better, who want to do well for their teammates. And that's what's made the difference. That's what's kind of given us the edge, even in really close contests, to pull those wins ahead. So,
No, Coach, I'm going to go off script already. As we start talking, the mind starts racing. And, we had some other spring coaches on, and we talked a little bit about the abbreviated preseason that you guys had this year. I was also thinking as you were talking, like, my gosh, it's May, but you really haven't had you had a little nice weather, but the weather's also been like crazy, right? So how has that been to have to, you always have to deal with the weather, right? But also having that abbreviated preseason on top of like weather conditions this year. How's that been?
Yeah, it's definitely felt rushed. I know, jumping into season, only having a few scrimmages, only having a few weeks together. we definitely didn't feel ready to start, but I think what's nice is everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
So talking to other coaches from other programs, they definitely were feeling the same thing. So I think a lot of programs were kind of, not sure how it was going to go to start. So that's been interesting. And even though the weather's been kind of crazy, we haven't had our usual, March snowstorm that keeps us indoors for 2 weeks. Like, I don't think we've practiced indoors once, which is
Oh,
like
nice.
the first time ever that's happened. Today was like our first real rain out practice. So I think we've actually been pretty lucky weather-wise, which isn't always the case. So yeah, it's been interesting, definitely. But yeah, we've been lucky with the weather, I think.
Nice. Very nice. Girls, my question is for you. You guys are both midfielders, right? So you play both sides of the ball. Jenna, can you tell us a little bit about what makes you guys get going offensively?
I think we definitely want to start our games off strong. We say that we want to start shot out of the cannon and just hit the ground running. And we want to get that first goal right off the draw and get a nice lead at the beginning of the game. That's definitely our motivation from the start.
Oh, nice. And Savannah, how about on the defensive side? Like, what is your defensive mentality?
Well, we play backer defense, so I think that talking is so important. And once we get on that field, we all start communicating, and that helps us string together so well. And if the other team scores a goal, then we that amps us up and gets us more excited to work together and talk even more and continue to have that pressure on the ball.
Nice.
Girls, I'm going to come back to you, and we'll start. Would you want to go same order?
Sure.
Okay, we'll go same order. Two-part question. Personal goal for yourself for the rest of the season and team goal for the rest of the season.
I think my personal goal would be staying composed as possible on the field. I know there's a lot of things that we can't control that happen throughout the game, but staying composed and staying in your own game is really important, especially those close games where it gets a little frustrating. And a goal for the team for the rest of the season, I want to make sure we take one game at a time and not get into our head a little bit too much about the pregame, and just maybe hopefully win the rest of the season till the end.
Yeah, I think my personal goal would be to just focus on the game and focus on hustling and getting the ball and being hungry and not thinking about the stats or scoring, just thinking about being a team player. And I think for the team, we just have to continue to work together and like I said with defense with talking, we need to move that to offense too, because that is so important on the offensive side too, so we know what to do and how to change what we did bad in the first half and fix that to do better in the second half and continue to improve.
Coach, what about you? Team goals for the rest of the season?
I'd like to see the girls put together 2 good halves in a game. It's kind of funny, our record is great, but we've yet to really play 2 really good halves. We've had some amazing halves and then some not so amazing halves. So I think getting to the point where we can play a complete game, and just statistically, we'd love to win our division. We have 2 more division games next week that are coming up. Right now, we're undefeated in the division. They're going to be really tough contests. We're going up against, Kinnelon, who's also undefeated in the division. So it should be a really fun week, a really big week for us. But I think we can do it. So that's definitely our team goal moving forward.
Nice. Coach, can you highlight some of I know you have 2 of your senior captains with you here tonight. If you maybe want to talk about them first and what they bring to the team. And then, of course, some of your other players who've played pivotal roles this season.
Sure. Yeah. So we have Jenna and Savannah with us. They are both 2-way midfielders. So they are all over the place on the field. They are contributing offensively. They're contributing defensively. And like I said, they're both just workhorses. They just set such a good example for what it looks like to be a good teammate, to sacrifice for your team, to put yourself out there and to just out hustle. When nothing else is going right, that hustle is something you can always control. And the 2 of them never lack that. And they're joined in the midfield by sophomore Julia Swanson, who has just been a powerhouse for us offensively. She's, only a sophomore, and she's already at 100 points on the season, almost at 100 goals. So she really just brings an edge to our offensive unit, especially that is much needed in these close contests, especially. And when she's on, the rest of the team is really able to kind of like build off her energy. We've really, been blessed with goalkeeping this season as well. We have a really strong senior goalkeeper in there, Riley Kowalczyk. She actually stepped in the cage for the first time last season, and she's already at 200 saves. And so it's just been awesome to see her growth and her confidence grow. I mean, she's, I think in almost every game, she's above a 50% save percentage. She's, averaging above, 10, 11 saves per game. It's just been awesome. And it really helps our defense to kind of come together there. And, we have a younger defense, but we've been really lucky to have senior Keely Vento down there as well. She has experience from last year as a junior, and she's really stepped into a leadership role as a senior this year, along with junior Ava Custode. Both, just great communicators, great defensive minds, leading some of our younger defenders who some of them never played low defense before. And we're like, you're going to be low defenders this year. They've done awesome. They've really just kind of grown into those roles, but it's thanks to the leadership of those two that, we've really been able to kind of gel. And then, offensively, we have, two other juniors, Briar Fiella and Kira Fall, who have been stepping up for us. They, they've really worked their way into being contributing members of the offensive unit, and they've grown so much. And it's so great to see them having the confidence, getting on the scoreboard every game, and just being real role players for us. So, we have a bunch of freshmen who are so eager and willing to learn, who've been joining us for practice, sophomores and juniors, same thing, who have been contributing. And it's so great to have that young energy there and to see the future of the program as well. Because obviously we have some big shoes to fill next season with, the seniors who are in, but we're really confident in the next kind of group of kids who are coming up and who are starting to get some of that varsity experience as well.
Coach, Jen literally just stole my next question.
Well,
She did. So, and you know what? Since I'm not the
forgot.
girls lacrosse expert like she is, I'm just going to have to do this on the run. So
Okay.
She did. And if I did that, she would be all over me.
I thought you forgot.
I didn't. So I guess two-part question. I'll ask you first, and I got one for the girls. But you just made a great point about going forward. You're losing some really good senior players and leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But so what's the key for year in and year out girls lacrosse for you guys to stay a successful program?
You know what? I think it has so much to do with the sub-level programs. I mean, I look at, our starting lineup even this season, and I see the way that so many of them have worked their way. Like they played freshmen, as freshmen, they played JV as sophomores, they swung as juniors, and they really became role players as, seniors. And it's something that just makes me so proud because these kids learn at an appropriate level. They're learning the game. They're learning to love the game, and they keep coming back. And I think it's just such a testament to, our coaching staff, our freshman coach, Rebecca, and our JV coach, Michelle, who've been there. Jen, I mean, they coached with you for years. It's just been incredible that they've been able to, continue coaching. And then we have a new assistant on staff this year, Kim Panesi. She actually played for Jen, back in the day. I'm not going to say how long because that'll show how old I am too, but she's been an awesome addition and just has so much Mustang pride, which is so cool because, there's pride in that legacy there too. And she just brings a whole nother level too, because she was a great player and a player at Ithaca as well. So I think just having, those sub levels really helps to just build the kids' confidence, get them game experience. And then, there's a lot of, kids too who have the privilege of being able to practice with varsity, play JV, and to have that kind of fluidity there gives them, an idea of what's expected, but then they're able to really compete at the level that's appropriate for them. And then we really see them having success, as they get older. And, you know, I'm really excited when we have 28 freshmen this year. So it's like,
Wow.
you know, the future is super bright for us, and they're competing, and the JV team is competing in every game. So, yeah, I think longevity is, you know, is due to that for sure.
We have a comment from Kim saying, "Go Mustangs."
Oh, there she is. There's Coach
she
Big.
is. Yeah.
There she is. I don't want to mess up the last name. You want to say the last name? I don't want to mess it up.
Is it Ponesi? Am I saying it correctly, Julia?
Ponesi, I think.
All right. Anyway, I know that I was going to say it wrong as well. I have to, you know, preparing for this show tonight. Of course, it's sentimental to me because I spent a long time in Montville, and you know, it's so funny, Julia. As I was like, how long has it been now? And I'm like going through, and I'm like, 9 years.
I know.
I can't believe it's been 9 years, and you've done a phenomenal job there. You girls, I know, have a great respect for Coach. I said Lil Happe, and you know, I was lucky enough to coach with her in several capacities, and I just want to echo your sentiments, Julia, because you know, Rebecca and Michelle have been there a long time, and I always felt so lucky to have knowledgeable and trustworthy, you know, responsible people on staff that were also just fun to work with, and you know, grow that love of the game. And I'm going to tell a quick story about Kim, if that's okay.
Well, can I get to the girls first?
Okay,
I don't want to forget my question because you robbed me of one
my-
question. I don't want to lose this one. I'm going to go to the girls. I'll start with Jenna, and then we'll go to Savannah. But obviously, you guys are seniors, senior captains. So this year, not only you guys have to worry about, you know, your play, you know, on the field and stuff like that, but also leadership as seniors on the team. So how would you guys say, you know, you guys, you know, have learned to handle that, not just as a great player, but as a great leader also for the team? Jenna, I'll start with you.
Okay. There's like definitely some close friendships on the team, and we try to keep team bonding together. We actually had a team dinner tonight. But before each game, we have team dinners, and we try to just like stay as connected as we can on and off the field, and then it displays how we play in the games.
And Savannah, what about you?
Yeah, I think that we're very fortunate that we're all like so close prior to lacrosse. And like lacrosse is something that we all love and feel passionate about. So like when we get on that field, it just makes us like one big family. And so off the field, it's the same way. And if there's ever anything that's like a little like iffy, like we always address it, and we try and make sure that everyone feels loved and welcomed, and like they're with their like second family.
So nice, very nice. Can I tell my Kim story?
Yeah, you can say.
Whenever we have people that he knows on, he always tells stories. So now it's
Yeah, of course.
So, girls, as you know, Coach Kim, right, is a former Montville athlete, and I coached her in field hockey and lacrosse. And I'm pretty sure that she started every game for me in field hockey and lacrosse from her freshman year. So for 8 seasons, I always say that poor kid only played for me at Montville. I feel so terrible. But I'm pretty sure she played every minute of every game, just about, if not all of them, close to it. And, you know, I'll never forget on that note. I don't know if you still do the suffer and play day, Julia, but
A few years,
Okay.
but we were doing it until recently.
I remember we had like it's an all-day scrimmage, and she was a midfielder for me, and she played like even in an all-day scrimmage every minute of the game, and it's like an intense day, right? And we were like sitting down afterwards. It probably rained, it was freezing, it was March, and like we went to go get up, and I just remember she was like, "Coach, I can't move, I can't get up." Like she had played so hard, and just like and it was a scrimmage day, and I just always remember that. And she was such a pleasure to coach. I'm so glad that she's on the staff. I know, Julia, you and her must get along so well. You have such similar mindsets, and it's so great to see. So I just wanted to get that in there.
I'm gonna see if I can get this right. It's Coach Rebecca
Hofflinger Lilienthal.
Lilienthal. Great job, girls. Go Montville. Coach Al.
Girls, I'm going to come to you on this one. I kind of have a sentimental question for you as seniors, right? A little bit. It's like your last season in Montville. Everything's coming, to a culmination. And we've had like, I want you to kind of just think back on your time at Montville. And like we've had several athletic programs, female athletic programs specifically, male as well, but there's so many successful programs at Montville. So if you look back, like, what do you think, what traits define a female student athlete at Montville Township High School? Savannah, we'll start with you this time.
I think that having heart and like passion is so important with anything you do. That just like shows in like your work ethic and like how hard you work. And I think that like we're very like lucky to have Coach Happe because she encourages us so much. Like I know that in games, like if any of us aren't doing to what she knows we can do to our fullest potential, she will always encourage us, like pull us to the side and tell us like, Savannah, I know you could do this. Like get your game on. Like she always tells us, like she helps us so much. And I think that like as a player, that has helped all of us grow and like become who we are today. So I think that at Montville High School, it's so important to just like show your passion and put every ounce that you have like into everything you do.
By the way, Coach Kim did say best memories.
Aw, like what? And Jenna, how about you?
I think Savannah worded that perfectly. I think our school has a lot of school spirit, and especially the girls team, we have like fun little things that we do. Like we wear our jerseys to school on game day, and like it just gets us really hyped for the games. And we're just lucky to have Coach Happe as well for all the support we have, and Coach P too this year.
Very nice. Want to roll into a little
Yeah,
rapid fire?
Sure.
All right, guys, before we let you go, we like to do a couple like quick paced questions for you. So Kurt's going to start us off. We'll go, why don't we do Savannah, Jenna, and then Coach? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You're
All
up.
right. Do you guys have what? I guess I'm going to ask you guys. You have to name it. I'm asking you if. Give me one or your favorite TV show, whether it's like a binge watch in Netflix or an NBC, Fox, whatever it is. One, your favorite TV show.
Mine is Vampire Diaries.
Mine is The Flash.
Ted Lasso.
All right, nice.
These guys are on point. Usually
I know.
people
Yeah,
like
they're like,
wait
that
about it.
was
They were
good.
just
That was
boom,
good.
blowing it
Ted
out.
Lasso's on our list. Yeah, we have usually.
Oh, you will love it.
I
Coaches
know.
love
How have we
it.
not? Who
I know.
Are coaches like
We
how?
haven't watched
I don't know how you haven't watched it, but
Because sports are on 24/7.
Before you go, Lindsay Lofferman, shout out to these Mustangs. Proud of Coach Happ and her girls. Great season this far. Mine is Vampire. What was it? Vampire Diaries 2, Jenna.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
Hey, Coach Lofferman, thanks for tuning in. All right, guys, biggest rival.
Probably Morris Knowles because we can beat them, but then we just
still hard to talk about.
We don't have them on our schedule this year, but I was going to say Randolph or maybe Kinnelon.
Yeah, I think this season will be Kinnelon. I think it changes every season, really, but
Now, Coach,
yeah, I'm ready for that Kinnelon
it's
game.
interesting. Now, do you say that because of the way like the divisions line up differently every year?
Yeah.
I know. It's always sometimes we talk about that on here. I know. I was interested to see on that question who it would be because of that. So interesting. Do I get to answer as a former Montville person? I don't even know who to say. There's so many. I was gonna go with Northern Highlands though. I feel like they just used to always knock us out of the state tournament year after year after year.
Yeah. We haven't seen them in a few years, thankfully, but you know we switch groups too, like every
there
year.
you go.
So.
That does it too. Yeah.
All right. If you get to choose, you could see anybody in concert. Who would you choose?
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. We're actually
I don't know. I'm not a big concert goer. I guess Zach Brown Band was like the best concert I went to, so I'd probably see them again.
Nice.
How about you?
Oh gosh, I wasn't ready to answer this one. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna go like old school. Like I'd like to see Justin Timberlake. I guess that God, is that old school now? Oh my God. That's like
You know who would I pick?
I just think he'd be a great performer. You would pick, oh my God, the country guy.
No.
Oh no?
Lady Gaga.
Oh, okay.
Come on. Come on. I always wanted to see Lady Gaga. You don't know that?
That would be a great one. I thought you were gonna say your new favorite country guy.
Yeah, but I mean Gaga
Cole
first.
Swindell. Yeah,
Cole
okay.
Swindell. There you go.
All right. Girls, best memory of like whether it doesn't have to be this year, but just your high school lacrosse playing days. What would you consider your best memory?
I think when I was a sophomore, it was in one of the rounds for counties. We played Randolph, and like everyone was expecting us to lose. Like Randolph even was like, this is going to be such an easy win. And we ended up playing an amazing game, and we ended up winning, and it was a giant upset. And like, just like that feeling is just like so like amazing. And like, it was so much fun.
Awesome.
I think as a team, our best like memory this year was our game versus Indian Hills. That was like one of our best games so far, but I know there's going to be even better ones for the rest of the season.
How about you, Coach? You go over your span of time.
Yeah, that Randolph game always comes to mind. It always stands out. We always talk about it. And it was just one of those like Cinderella moments that, I think it's something that especially these girls who were on the team, and even the girls who are on the team now who, weren't necessarily playing in the game, they still talk about the game too. It was an awesome game. So I think that probably does stand out the most.
All right, my last one. I'm not sure if we asked Coach this one already, if she answered this one.
I'm not sure because she was as a prior guest.
Well, just because she's got this sweatshirt on, so I don't know. I could be thinking of somebody else. I really could. But anyway, if you guys could only wear Montville gear in one color, uniforms, hoodies, t-shirts, whatever, would you do green, white, gray, black, or other?
I would do white because it looks very like clean and like cool.
I'm wearing our black sweatshirt right now, but I would say white too, especially when it's really hot outside and like the sun. You don't want to be wearing a black sweatshirt sweating at warm up.
I like the way the white looks a lot, but I have 2 kids, so realistically, probably gray is my color of choice.
Too funny. And my last one is, girls, you're obviously gonna start with this one, and Coach, you'll answer it too, but what is a Coach happyism? Like, what's something that Coach always says?
Let me think.
I gotta think too. There's a few.
Yeah.
Coach happyism.
I'm actually kind of encouraged. Nothing came to mind that quickly.
Like
By the way, who's the special guest behind you? I see we have another guest coming on to the show. There you go.
Coach, do you have something you think you say, like a team, like even like motto or something for this season?
Sure. I know I always like end every intense conversation with, "Do you understand?" They all always have to nod. Yes.
I feel like mine was, "Do I make myself clear?" And I didn't even realize I used to say that, and apparently I did.
I find myself saying that a lot, and I'm like, "Oh no, here we go again." Yeah, I don't know. The high fives.
Yeah. At the beginning of each game, like Coach Happy reads off the roster and like tells us like who's on what side of the field, and like the way she says it, and then right after she goes, "Let's go."
You like that one?
Absolutely.
That's right out of your book.
Just like the tone. Very motivational.
Love it.
Like she'll like take her clipboard and start smacking it.
I throw the clipboard when I get mad. Yeah.
Julia, I love it. That's awesome.
Got a comment from Michelle Hahn Jones saying, "Oh my gosh, Jen, you always did."
I know. That's so funny. Too funny. Thanks for watching, Michelle. Girls, really quickly before we let you go, what are your plans for next year?
So I'm gonna continue playing lacrosse at Kane University, and I'm gonna major in sports management.
Oh,
awesome.
Did you say Kane?
Yeah.
Oh, Kurt, my sister-in-law, Kurt's sister, is actually the tennis coach there. That's awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
awesome.
We'll have to have her keep an eye out for you.
There you go.
Awesome. How about you, Jenna?
I'll be going to Marist College in Poughkeepsie for computer science and cybersecurity.
Nice.
That's fantastic. Girls, Coach, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was an absolute pleasure to have you. We wish you nothing but continued success for the rest of the season, especially as you continue that hunt for the conference and division championship.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Our
us.
pleasure.
Thank you, girls.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
So our
Little Montville Girls Lacrosse
yep.
off
And,
to a nice 7-2
yeah,
start.
absolutely. I'm just trying to make sure we have everybody where they need to
Oh,
be.
Lindsay had a comment. Yes, come play in college league this summer.
Oh, there you go. Absolutely. We'll have to make sure
And she
we
said
get...
good night. to them.
have to make sure we get Coach on. Coach Lafferman is now at Morristown Baird, so we've been talking about getting her on the show as well. So we'll definitely
Okay.
be following up with her to get her on too, and talk about her summer programs that she runs as well. Our next guest is actually ready to join
Let's
us.
bring
Should
her
I
in.
bring her in? All righty,
Absolutely.
let's do it.
Hello.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Great.
It's so good to see you. How have you been?
Really well. I know this is so fun because I look at your posts on Facebook all the time, and I just remember good old days.
I know, right? Exactly. Well, let me officially introduce you to our audience. We are joined by Coach Wendy Morris. She is currently the head lacrosse coach at Pennington High School, and her team is also off to a 7-2 start. At the culmination,
8-2 after today.
after
There you
today,
go, Coach.
congratulations! Awesome, very nice. 8, and I just fixed it on my thing. 8-2. At the culmination of this season, she'll be retiring after 14 years as the head coach of field hockey and lacrosse at Pennington, and she has had an additional 20 years at Pope John, amassing a 30 plus years of coaching high school athletics. And it's equally impressive, if I'm not mistaken, Coach, that you're still competing on the field hockey field as well. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations for so much success in coaching, and thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. This is so fun.
Comment from Colleen Barry. Is it
Messenger.
Wendy is the best.
Oh, thanks for
So,
watching.
great comment. And Coach, just like Jen said, it's an honor for us to have you on. You had an unbelievable, obviously, career, and we're happy to have this little interview with you.
Well, thank you.
So I guess my first question is, what went into your decision to say, that's it, I'm at the end of the year, I'm done?
Right. So it's a very simple question, because last June my husband and I bought a farm out in York County, Pennsylvania. And so we moved out there in June, and I have an apartment in Pennington because it's a 2.5-hour drive. So we looked for a farm for a long time, and I really thought, I would be when I took the job at Pennington in 2009, I thought, maybe I'll be here 5 to 7 years, and now it's 14. So
Awesome.
it's just, and the timing, there's never a great time. There are always girls you're going to miss, and students you're going to miss, and that come in as freshmen, and you want to, have that experience with them that you've had with all the others. But it's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Coach, if you think about it, you've coached, hundreds of female student athletes, right, that have gone through your program, which is just, it's amazing how many lives you've touched. I mean, it really is. And what do you hope that they have learned playing in your programs?
I think the biggest takeaway is just that they're good, good people, fair competitors. They've learned the game that the 2 games that I've played since I was in 5th grade, and clearly am incredibly passionate about. And I just hope, and I believe that they have taken on, they have an enthusiasm for those sports that, like, the joy it brings me, that's the most important thing to me, is that it brings them joy, that it's a part of their day, that they it's fun, it's competitive, but in the end, it's really important to know how to win. It's equally as important to know how to lose and manage loss, and just the life lessons. I mean, as you two know, nothing like the life lessons that you learn, out on the athletic field.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
I like how you mentioned, like, about knowing how to lose, right? And I always say that, like, my favorite college basketball team is University of Virginia. Tony Bennett, the coach there, when he recruits players, is like, I don't want to know how they react to winning. I want to know how they react to losing. So it really is such an important. Nobody likes to do it, but it is a big skill to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of character is shown.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We have a comment from Rebecca, again, Hofflinger Lilienthal, saying, hi, Wendy. Sven says hi, too. Legend coach. Congratulations.
Thanks, Beck.
So, Coach,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Sven was the trainer at Pope John.
Oh,
when I was at Pope John.
I forgot that because I know he was in Butler, and I always remember when we would play Butler, but I forgot that he was in Pope John prior to that. Yeah. So he's a small world, the athletic circles.
So like Jen said, you did so much for all these athletes that you coached over the years. But what were some of the things that you loved about coaching?
Well, it's just one of my favorite parts of my day. You get to be outside. I don't always join in and play as often as I used to, but I used to jump right in, to the drills and both in field hockey and lacrosse, and just that, same thing. You might have a long day. I taught Latin at Pope John. I teach Latin at Pennington, and so you might have a long day, but boy, the minute you get that stick in your hand and get out on that field, you just get rejuvenated again.
Coach, thinking back, like through the duration of your career, how would you say like the landscape of high school sports has changed over time?
Quite a bit. Even when you think about the fact that, Jen, we played on these grass fields that were not easy to play field hockey on.
Yeah.
A little easier to play lacrosse on, except maybe ground balls. But, and now we're playing on turf fields, and it's amazing. And it definitely is the surface that field hockey needs to be played on. If for no other reason too, just to prepare our girls for college, and make sure that they're getting the best experience to this, and you're able to get their skills to a game that they're going to play, in college, or club. I mean, I have girls that have played college, but I also have equally as many girls that go and play intramural or club. And, it's just fabulous. But getting back to the question too, there has been a big change. And one thing that's disturbing to me is how we have such a shortage of coaches and officials. It all goes back to that sort of be nice, be kind. We need to put things in perspective. Coaches, when we were coaching, it's always good to be held accountable. No question about it, to be responsible and held accountable. But I think sometimes we need to have our parents reflect on, we all went through high school playing our sports. We all believed in and listened to our coaches, and I think a lot of us in my generation, I might go home and complain about the sprints I had to do, or the coach was kind of tough on me, and my parents were, pretty much like, it's your choice to play this game, and you've got to, do what he says, do what she says, like tough it out. And obviously, if anything were crazy, they would probably, step in. But I feel like our athletes, they know what they need to do. They know what the expectations are at practice. And I just ask parents to enjoy the ride, like enjoy watching their girls play. They're giving their best out there. And I hope this sort of pendulum swings back to where it's not so, everyone's not so critical of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not even just, coaches need to be less critical of officials. Officials need to be less critical of coaches and players. Like everyone just needs to enjoy the game more and not be, not be so quick to criticize, I think.
That's a great point.
My last one for you, Coach, and I know we're talking high school now, but it's always funny when we listen on a pro level or a college level, but it happens on high school too. But so when you see a coach and they say, I'm done, I'm retiring. And then here it goes, like 2 years or 2 later, that coach is back. So it's always, especially like on the football, like college football. Okay, retire.
Right.
All right, next year, 8 offers, here he comes. So I guess 2-part question. Can you ever see yourself coaching, high school again? And part 2, like, will you still in any way still be around these 2 sports?
Absolutely. There's no question. I am leaving Pennington. Probably the biggest reason is because, we're going to be 2.5 hours away, but I'm also looking forward to kind of sort of reinventing myself a little bit. But I'm playing on the Masters field hockey team, indoor and outdoor. And I have the opportunity to go play in a tournament in Italy the end of August, which I'm going to go do. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I was coaching preseason field hockey. So this is like a first. I started coaching when child number 3 was 5 months old, and he is now 35. So in 35 years, I haven't been able to do anything but preseason at the end of August. So I'm really excited to be able to do that. And definitely, I plan to do something with my Latin, not sure what yet. And then there are a lot of schools out near, within an easy distance. I have York, I have Lancaster and Baltimore. I mean, there's field hockey and lacrosse. So I'm sure I'm going to get involved somehow. I mean, I've helped with U.S. development field hockey. So yeah, I'm sure. We just actually took down a barn on the farm. And so it's just the foundation. And already I have eyes on putting like turf in the foundation and making it like a little training center.
There you
Oh
go.
my gosh, that's awesome.
Coach, you made such a great point, right? Because, Jen and I talk about this all the time, but, I coached high school football for 15 or 18 years. And like you say, like, then when you stop, you're like, oh my God, it's like a different, like, oh wait, I could do this on a Saturday. Like Saturday's like free now it's like, I could never do that. Like,
Right.
it's so funny you say that. Cause don't we always talk about it? Like, oh my God, like I have a Saturday that's free now. So
I have to say,
different
I'm
life.
so excited to not have homework.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly. Coach, it's so funny. Obviously, Cindy Berardino, and I took over the Montville program when she retired. And I remember an article that came out at the time when she was retiring, and it said, like, I can't remember how the question was phrased, but it was something to the effect of, what won't you miss about coaching, right? And she said, having the weather channel on constantly, wondering what the weather is going to be, right? Like, it's like having XYZ practice plans depending on the weather. I was like, wow, that's a really good point.
And today was no different. I literally had the weather, like I was checking the weather because we saw these clouds coming at us and you could see the rain. And it was like, oh my gosh, yep, it says it's going to rain in the next hour.
Coach, what would be your advice to future coaches that are just starting out?
To not take yourself so seriously or too seriously. And to just be a good listener, pay attention to kind of like what the vibe you're getting as the girls come out to the field, like what their needs might be, so that you can, sort of make their day better, or and just be aware, like, it's one thing to have a practice plan, and as you two both know, you can have this great plan, right?
Yeah.
And it can be thrown out the window like so quickly, or that you only get to 1 or 2 things. great advice my mom had given me over the years was make a list and just immediately take the bottom two things off. And it's always been great advice because you never get through it all. And that's okay. But the most important thing is like, bring your enthusiasm, be understanding, instill in them a good work ethic. Yes, you have to work hard, but it doesn't mean that you can't have fun along the way.
Great advice. Before we let you go, can you stay for a little rapid fire, some more fast-paced questions?
Oh my gosh. So I was watching the last session. I'm like, oh my God, what would I even say? So I'll try.
All right. I think we got like one or two repeats.
Yeah,
maybe.
some
So
are new,
we
some
were a
different
little
ones.
better prepared.
All right, so this has been my favorite new one that I've been asking everybody.
Yeah, I'm just
You
plugging in
can't say the Weather Channel. Okay, you can't say the Weather Channel.
Okay. I just
Favorite
had to plug in
TV?
my computer.
Do you have a favorite TV show you've been watching or binge watch?
Okay, so it's funny. Like I don't watch TV, but I'm a huge Netflix fan.
Okay.
And so, but there's so many things on Netflix, and I will literally binge watch and then have to wait till like the next season.
The next season.
Yeah. But there's so many. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Okay.
Coach, what would you say was what you feel like, I'm going to say biggest win in your career? I know that like encompasses so much, but even like most memorable, what's something that's kind of a special win for you?
There are so many, right?
Yeah.
And I guess, I remember back in my Pope John days, making it like winning sectional finals, actually in 1996. And we played West Essex after. Then we had to face West Essex. And we just lost to them like 2-1. And that was a game I will never forget. I'll never forget that game. And then just most recent history, just even today, I have to submit our Mercer County tournament entry form tomorrow, and we played West Windsor, Plainsboro North in just a regular season game today, and we have not played them since before the pandemic, and we always either go into overtime. It's very exciting, and we ended up winning, scoring, I think, our winning goal with less than 2 minutes left in the game, and we won 12-11.
Oh,
and it was, again, just a fabulous game. So, yeah.
Very nice.
Colleen is saying yes. So I'm assuming she meant that. Is that the question? Is that the game that you were talking about going into playing the West Essex game? But I'm going to go off of that question because as a coach, I know what they always say when you say you remember all your wins, but then it's like the ones you really remember are the ones you lose, right? So if there's one game that you could have back, what would it be?
So just this past fall, actually, the girls didn't know. I sort of had in the back of my mind that this was probably going to be my last year. And we were in the Prep B state semifinals against PDS. And we lost in overtime 2-1. And I'd love to have that game back because it could have gone either way. It could have gone either way.
It is real true, isn't it, Coach? Like when you really like all the wins, and you're like, but then when you're like, oh, that game, if I can get to that game,
right?
We did this in that game. It's like you remember those. It really is so true, though. It is.
Yeah.
It is. And definitely too, like the huge games for us at Pope John were anytime we played Sparta, and they were always close, and it was always, back and forth too. But there are a lot of games in there. That's right.
Yeah, what do they say? Those are the games that'll always keep you up, right? Like,
right.
You're okay, but the losses, you just never get over them.
Coach, what will you miss most?
Oh, everything. I know. I mean, that was the hardest thing as making this decision is that I'm excited. I'm excited about, what the future brings, but also too, I mean, these girls, they're my family too. I mean, I have 4 wonderful children and have been able to watch them all play through the college level, and even play with my youngest daughter. We've played on like Garden State Games teams together or things like that. But you know, my family, my kids are in California, Oregon, Maine, and New York, and these are my girls. Like they, you know, I never felt like an empty nester because I've always had my students and my, you know, my field hockey and lacrosse players. And so I will miss them. I will miss them.
And my last one for you, Coach, do you have a favorite athlete of all time?
Oh gosh. Well, I have to say, actually, one of she was a distant cousin that I grew up just thinking the world of, because she was like a nationally ranked field hockey and lacrosse player, and her name was Bunny Watts. She went to Westchester. It was State College at the time, and she's always sort of been my hero.
Nice.
Yep.
And Coach, I'm going to put you on the spot. You
Okay.
have to choose one.
Uh-oh.
Which one do you like best? Is it field hockey, Latin, or lacrosse?
Oh gosh, that's a hard question.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer. You
Yeah.
You know
I
what's
would
funny?
never put you on the
It's
spot like that.
It's literally, so I just spoke last week at the I went to Upland Country Day School in Kennett Square, PA. It goes up through 9th grade. It's where my mom taught. And the woman who taught me field hockey and lacrosse from 5th through 9th grade, she passed away last year. And she also started Missy Mahargolf on her coaching career.
Oh, get out.
Yeah,
Nice.
Missy's mom was my French teacher. My mom was her English teacher. And so I got to speak at her sort of memorial. They dedicated a tree to her. And her husband was the head of school and my Latin teacher, and she was my field hockey lacrosse coach. So those 3 things have had just an enormous impact on my life, and I love them all. Love all 3.
And you've also given back to all
Yes.
3, you know, and the student athletes that you have, you know, touched, inspired, and, you know, grown the game. It's, you know, you've done so much. So thank you.
You're so sweet. Thanks.
We wish you, it was so good to see you.
And great to see you.
Selfishly, I know. And we wish you nothing but the best. Continued success this season as you end your final lacrosse season, and of course in the next chapter as you pursue.
And Coach,
that.
when you come back out of the little retirement, make sure you come on our show and break the news, and we'll get you the
Exactly.
interview. All right?
Okay.
All right? That's what I'm saying. We want that. That's all we want. But, you know, seriously, Coach, thank you. You know, an unbelievable career, and we're honored to have you on our show today.
Oh, well, thank you so much. This has been really great. Really great.
All right. Thanks again, Coach. Have a good
Thank
night.
you, Coach.
Yep.
Good one.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so great interview.
Yeah.
And you could just, again, the girls that she impacted in both of those sports.
You know, just you talk about just good people, you know,
Yep.
and that's what Coach Morris is on so many levels. So yes, and the people who have played for her are very lucky to have crossed paths with her. For
Absolutely.
sure. She's done so much for both of those sports. Yeah.
And you know, like, you know, we joke about that, but how true is it when you say, like, all those wins, like when you have, and I mean, on every level, when you talk to a coach, it's like, oh, but that loss, you know, 10 years ago, and you're like, it just eats at you. And you joke, I joke around, you're like, do you really care about, but that junior football? Yeah. That's, you know, those kids that was our team back then. And it's like, if I could go back, I want to go back to beat that team in a junior Super Bowl. Yeah. You know, so, but no, awesome interview. We had 2
Thank
great
you again to
great
Montville
programs.
High School, Coach Happe and her 2 senior captains for joining us as well. And next week we're back to our Tuesday evening.
Yes, we're back.
Yep. Thanks. To Nick's
Hopefully, maybe we could wrap that up by then. We'll see.
We'll see. Thank you everyone for watching.
Have a